Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Jose, Travis, Ranty, Anthony, and Arwin, and Mark. Good to have you all.
Hello from California.
Thank you. Good morning.
Tell you what, it's a good job you spelled angles right, and not
we talked about that before the
angels.
show. It's more the autocorrect. So from this distance, I'm looking at the screen from quite some way away, with all the buttons and controls and everything laid out around me. And yeah, I can't quite see it at this distance. So I had to get up to the screen. I'm like, have I spelt that right? Yeah. I need to change the number though. It's 381 this show. So, I'm going to see if this can be done in under 2 minutes, right? Let's have a go. Flat Earth housekeeping. Any signs of curvature?
No.
No.
Any signs of axial rotation?
No.
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 Any signs of a pressurized system?
No.
No.
Hold on. Let me get it all out. Hold on. Not that quick. Any signs of a pressurized system next to a vacuum?
No.
What about R?
No.
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 R, no.
What about gravity? Any evidence of that?
No.
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 Is that it? Oh, did I say molten iron core?
Molten iron core? No.
No.
Well done, Owen. Well, that was about 30 seconds. Awesome.
Record time.
Excellent. Well, we're up and running. Got space on the panel, few guests. What more could you ask for? Life is sweet.
Some evidence.
Some evidence of balliness, which we'll never ever get.
Yeah, so many ball defenders in the chat, but nobody come to present something.
Because they're all scared of Nathan bullying. That's the in thing at the minute. Nathan's a bully. He's so rude.
Well,
I think the idea is if they come in hot and honest and say, hey, this is what I believe and not what I really know or can prove, I think they can be heard. Just don't say you know this and this is the truth. Say you believe it and you might be heard, easier.
It's really hard to get out of that habit of basically declaring that you're backed by the body of science and that it is scientific evidence, because that's just allowed in society to do that. So it's very hard to get rid of that habit.
Yeah, I think we've established that the heliocentric belief is not actually backed by the whole body of science after all, Rumpus, despite your nonsense claim that it was.
the body of science.
The whole body of science, Nathan.
What's Arwin's chant? Gravitas Dominus
No.
Radius Sanctus Spiritus
Radius
Amen.
Sanctus Gravitas Dominus. Amen.
Radius Sanctus Gravitus Dominus. Amen.
Oh,
In
man.
R we trust. Go in peace.
It's embarrassing. At least we have the freedom to choose whether we believe it or not. But if you believe that we live in a sphere, you have to accept all the nonsense that they put out there. Especially when NASA say they're sending a probe to the sun and you can put your name on it. I think it might be one of those slow shows today, Nathan.
I didn't think the first
For me.
show was very slow.
Tell you what I would like to quite talk about whether or not this is going to spread like wildfire, but certainly Celebrate Truth, Robbie, Hello, Ian. How you doing? Hello. Oh, we're going to lose the hangout for a bit of drama. Can you hear us, Ian?
Yeah, should we leave it? Let's see.
Yeah.
Just
what? Just lining up the back chat to snipe us all. We'll leave them in, see if we all die. If we do, 2 minute, 2 minute, whatever it's called. So Robbie Davidson had up a video, a mirror. You will not die. That's nice to know. I will die eventually. I promise you of that. Death and taxes, mate. Anyway, so
I can
just completely thrown my train of thought. Yes, the video about Buzz Aldrin. So from 2015, Buzz Aldrin had a little interview with a little girl that said, "Why haven't we been back to the moon?" And Buzz's response was to say, "We didn't go." That was essentially the video. I don't know about why none of us spotted that in 2015, but it's only just surfaced now, 3 or so years later. And a few people put it up, and either raw or otherwise, for commentary. And then several people, including ODD and Celebrate Truth YouTube channels, have had these videos taken down under copyright. Now,
really?
Absolutely, yeah. And at this point, Robbie's attitude, and I would, as a YouTuber, agree with him, which is to say that as soon as you're in a position where you have a copyright strike, you really don't want to rock the boat, because you do value your channel. Now, this is a way that YouTube can censor us. They know it, we know it. So, I've got a slight technical issue. Dropping frames here. Just give me 10 seconds. Nobody say anything just while I sort the technical issue out, because otherwise you won't be heard. Just give me a second. Hopefully this doesn't kill the hang. Are we all good? Is everyone... Oh, crikey. And we're on the air. Hooray.
What happened?
Yeah,
I just changed my VPN because it was a really slow VPN, and it just means that OBS goes through the automatic reconnecting process. Hopefully it's back online now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, hey, hey. We're in business. Yeah, sorry about that to those who are watching.
Strike.
Say again, Ranty.
So he's had a copyright strike, ODD. So
ODD and Celebrate Truth and a few other larger YouTubers who put the video up raw. So ODD had the... Let's focus on ODD as opposed to Celebrate Truth. So ODD Reality, aka ODD TV, has 2 videos covering this subject. One is a full edited video with commentary from him, a few repetitions. Anthony will know what I'm talking about, where you put an edit of the same thing over and over again to highlight that particular set of words or whatever. So he's got an edited version of that interview, which did not get struck, which did not get taken down, which, you could just argue that if it's raw as is, it is a copyright infringement, and therefore there's nothing to get in a twist over. On the other hand, I would see that putting something that nobody was aware of from 2015 up in its raw form would be considered perfectly acceptable, as it's in the interest of the subject matter that it's talking about, i.e. both of them have flat earth channels, and it's absolutely relevant. So, I don't know, I just wanted your takes on it.
In mysterious and wonderful ways. I think a lot of it depends on the person on the day that receives the copyright complaint. When they actually look at themselves, they make the decision, and 2 people come to 2 different answers.
I wouldn't say wonderful. Copyright striking is a shitty system.
No,
I didn't say wonderful.
Sponsored censorship.
In weird and wonderful ways. Clothie is.
Indeed.
I think they should just reduce the system to actual copyright complaints being made, and not just automated. But yeah, that's me. I think the whole copyright system is basically, it's gonna slow down what people will do. And hey, every time you take a little bit of a video of someone, whoever it is, you are basically advertising for them for free. Unless you're gonna claim it like you made it, like, oh, look at, I put out this new video, I made it, and then somebody else actually made it entirely. Okay, yeah, that is like copy strike worthy. But yeah, if the person would find out by somebody else recognizing it, then he could then file a copyright strike, basically, and that would be much more sensible to me.
So I watched the Buzz Aldrin video, but I don't see it in my history. So what channel is it available on now, or is it not?
Well, the best way to look at it would be, I think it's called something like Disney on Ice, NASA, something or other.
Okay. I see that one. Okay.
That it's within the first 4 or 5 minutes of that video. He has an edited version of the interview.
Yeah, Disney is very hard on the copyright.
Well, I don't know if it is Disney. In fact, I know it isn't, based on Robbie Davidson showing me the actual name of the person who struck it. And it's not Disney. You know, it may be a subsidiary. I'm not saying it's definitely not, but I'm just saying that isn't the name on the copyright holder. Whereas I know I'm pretty sure it was the Morgile that had used something that was Disney, and it absolutely did say Disney from memory, unless I've just got a false memory and I've just made that up. But other people will correct me in the chat. I'm sure he used something like Yellow Brick Road, whatever it's called.
Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I've forgotten the name of it. You know, follow the Yellow Brick Road.
The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, Wizard of Oz.
I gave you a link.
Not of Disney.
A little girl asks Buzz Aldrin.
Who is the producer of Wizard of Oz then?
Well, they did make a movie about it, but yeah, it's not like their property.
Sure, but the actual videography that was used by the Morgile was specifically a snip from what I thought was the Disney movie.
Oh yeah. That'll definitely do it. Yeah.
Right, but it came up as Disney. Is my point.
Mm-hmm.
But this didn't. Right. So it's not. I don't think it's a Disney clip of this interview with Buzz Aldrin and I don't know, 5 or 6 year old child asking, "Why haven't we been back to the moon?" And him saying, "Well, basically, we never went because we didn't go."
I've put a link in the side chat, mate.
Yep.
It's that's the GoFundMe.
Oh, really? So I'll just fill the audience in. Can you post it again? Because it's difficult for me to get to the side chat, but I can grab it when it appears above your icon. So.
Oh, do you know when it's in Skype?
Oh, it's in Skype. Oh, yeah, I can do that.
No, I can put it in Skype if you want.
No. Just stick it in the Hangout again. But when it pops up above your face, I'll grab it from there.
All right. Okay.
So Ranty has decided, rather than selling his camera and being without it until the new one comes out, he has decided to set up a GoFundMe. So he's got a £1,000 goal, ambitious. You can see it on screen now, the audience only, and you can see Ranty's saving up for a P1000 when it comes out. What he's intending to do is take to pieces his P900 and convert it to an infrared camera, which requires essentially trashing the camera in the process because it'll be worthless afterwards. But there's Ranty's GoFundMe campaign. I promised Ranty I would be the first person to contribute to it, so I will do that as soon as this show has finished. So I won't do it now because I've got to put my credit card details in. But yeah.
No. Go ahead. Do it now.
No, I won't. So
on screen, please.
So there you go. So I'll put the link in the in the public chat. I'll also put it in the info box below this video for when it's rendered. But yeah, I think everyone who knows Ranty and his channel, if you don't subscribe to Ranty Flat Earth, knows that, you know, the reason he really is going to the extent of not selling his camera is because it's probably a pile of crap now, because he's got full of seawater when he's been lying on his belly taking the observations that he has taken. But off the back of those observations, we've smashed a lot of globe heads, and it's, you know, I think value for money wise, someone who, if you ever can consider supporting somebody who needs a camera and can't afford one, Ranty will definitely give good value for money in that regard, so he will definitely use it.
Yeah, so. Or Ranty, you could sell it as a collector's item. Ranty's Flat Earth camera.
Yeah.
With your collection of pictures that you took with it.
And all the salt.
At its stand.
And a bag of sand from the beach you took them from.
Don't forget to plug Jose's channel.
Whose channel?
Jose.
Yeah, Jose. I'll do that now. So Jose's also been doing a few observations. If you can tell us, Jose, what you've been doing, I'll go and bring up one of your videos, which will just take me a couple of minutes. So hopefully I've given you enough fill to come off mute and tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, thank you. Over here in the Tampa Bay area in Clearwater, It's a golf area. It's a lot of small bridges and connections, small observations, maybe from 5 miles to 7 to 10 miles distances. I can see clear. I don't have the best camera. It's a 50 times zoom Canon camera, but 2 times I have been there. First time was really windy. I just posted one video. It was really shaky. Next time I went, it was crystal clear, not windy, but it was really hot. It felt like 100 degrees. A lot of mirroring effects. That's all I could catch in the distance. The buildings up and down, the palm trees up and down. You see the dolphins jumping around, the boats hovering over the apparent horizon. A lot of crazy atmospheric optical conditions going on. Yes, small distances, but I know when the time is right, when there's no mirroring effects, when it's a little cooler, I should be able to observe if there's any curvature, which I doubt it. But I should be able to see because there's a lot of houses and small items at 5 and 7 miles distances that we could spot. If there's any, the curvature should be there. But as for right now, I got some beautiful images of mirroring effects in the horizon.
Can you spell out your channel name so people can search for it if this gets cut out or anything, to just spell it letter for letter?
Yeah, it's Jose J.G. Gonzalez. Jose space J.G. space Gonzalez. Gonzalez. Maybe you put Jose J.G. Gonzalez Flat Earth and one of my videos will pop up.
Cool. So yeah, check out Jose's channel. I will put links. Yeah,
I'm
good
planning
work. I
on keep
like your
going at
videos.
least once a week and repeat the observations and move on to further distances.
Mind if I play one now?
Oh, go right ahead. I appreciate
Right, it'll
it.
be for the audience only, but I'll stick it up now.
Thank you. Yeah.
A bit bigger.
Yeah, I spotted a boat. I was going to look to the distance and a boat just flew next by me. So I started recording it since the boat went by me and it kept going and going. He went as far as 7 miles and he just disappeared, vanished in the mirroring effect at the end. It became a smush, maybe 5 or 6 minutes into the video. And at 8 minutes, you cannot see it. It just disappeared.
What I'll do is I'll stick it on 2 speed, so it's a 7-minute video, so 3.5 minutes it'll last. I'll just leave it up on screen for people to see it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Thank you.
You can already see the mirroring going on.
Yeah, lots of it.
Oh, you see it, yeah. Yeah, it's a very nice area because it's a lot of small piers and bridges. And I haven't gone up in the higher point, which is a big bridge is in there. I think I can ride my bike up there, maybe a 10-15 minutes bike ride. So I could get a wider view distance. Now, there's a tower in one of the videos. It's a smoke tower and a big building that's 15 miles away. But it's behind, all that mirroring. So it's inconclusive on how far down I can see and how clear I can see it. That's for today.
Put a link in the public
Mirroring
chat.
starts really close by.
You say that's a 5-mile distance before it disappears. So would you say it's about 3 miles now?
Yes, probably. About 3 miles.
That's perfect for the test that we want to conduct, though, from Coniston Lake. Because like you say, I mean, you can see that there's heavy refraction and mirroring going on this day. But even, with that at 3 miles, you're still able to see the boat, aren't you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and I went the first video I put maybe a week and a half ago. It was really shaky, but it wasn't that much mirroring going on. I'm not sure why. Maybe the wind, because it was the same heat, same feel of hot, but not too much mirroring going on.
What was your elevation here? The better. What elevation were you with your camera?
Oh, this was 5 foot, I said. No. Less. With the boat, it was maybe 3.5 or 4 foot. I had the stand down, standing in the water.
Well, at 3 miles, there should be a 6-foot drop. Essentially, there should be 6 foot hidden, and you can actually see the other boats, the other speedboats, are going in front of the boat, but they're lower down. So this is proving that that boat is not going over a curve, because, like you say, it's already past 3 miles. It's probably nearer to 4 miles now. So what's it's not going over a curve. It's going higher and higher and higher.
Oh, in a video I put a week ago, I think I titled it Globe Earth, Flat Earth, Curvature, No Curvature, Obstruction, something like that. Under the bridge where the boat is heading to, you can see people underneath the bridge standing, fishing in there. And from where they are standing, it's like 1 foot little concrete slab. People stand on to fish. You can see like 7 people just throwing the fishing poles, fishing in there. In a 5 miles, that to the bridge is exactly 5 miles away.
Yeah, because that boat should have gone. Boat should have gone down with the boat in the foreground being higher than that. Because if the boat, say the boat's at 3 miles away, in the foreground, but your boat was at 5 miles away, then it should have gone down and beyond and over a hump. But it didn't do that.
Yes, it just hovered over the apparent horizon.
In the foreground the entire time.
Very cool footage. Very cool. Or very hot, I'd say. So what's...
Yeah, I know I'm going to do a lot more observations. I haven't gone back. That was maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I will be back in the next few days.
So where did you take it?
This is in Florida, in Clearwater, Florida.
Hmm.
You can see the trolls are being very active in the chat, screaming that this is proof of curvature. Clearly, they're so delusional. They're so delusional. They don't know what they're looking at.
I thought it was very telling in that footage you made, Jose, that the water seemed to be extremely still. Even though ships were all going all through it at all kinds of speeds, there were a couple of waves, but overall, especially in the foreground, it just looked really, really still. Oh, look who's here.
Hey P, how you doing?
Oh, good.
No racist remarks, please.
Okay.
Yeah, what is with you doing that? I mean, what do you get out of coming on and just saying the same word over and over again? What is it with you? Why do you do it?
Ruin the reputation of the ball earthers.
Ball earthers. What about ruining the reputation of the flat earth debates when you come in and you just make a mockery of it?
I don't think I could ever ruin the reputation of this show.
Do you think you could ever improve it?
I don't know. Probably not.
So, what can we do for you, P?
Did you guys figure out the miles squared thing yet?
We did.
Excellent. So I'm just going to stick Ranty's GoFundMe back up on screen. So you've already had £30 towards your £1,000 goal. So I wasn't the first. Somebody beat me to it. Ian Matheson and Anonymous. So there you go. You've had a couple of contributions. Hopefully you'll get to your goal.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we managed to sort out the miles squared and square miles. We sorted it all out. Took us. Yes, we have. Yeah.
Have we agreed that there's a difference between miles squared and squared miles now, Ranty? Or
yes, we have. Of course, we have.
Oh, good. So was Issa correct or not?
Oh, don't even go there.
Oh, okay.
We've figured it out.
I think he was upset because he uses that as a flat Earth proof when he talks about the planar planar geometry or something.
He does use it as a flat Earth proof. Yeah, I agree. And I don't know whether he's right or wrong, but I at least acknowledge that he had evidence to support his position, which was the conclusion of the point yesterday. The Ranty wouldn't even acknowledge that he did have evidence that supported his position. Whether that position was accurate or not is a different point. But I'm hoping that Ranty now realizes that Issa did have evidence that supported his position. regardless of whether he was right or wrong.
The evidence was taken from a comment. Sorry, somebody who'd replied to a comment in a thread. That was his evidence where he cited it from, and it was taken.
No, that's not true. He showed where he got it from. He got it from the maths something website.
Yeah,
I'll find it.
Somebody had responded. It was somebody responding to a comment. Somebody was responding to a comment, and the other one with the actual citation it was taken from was from a video. You know, so some guy has a video, a YouTube channel who put a video out saying that yes, you can see for 300 miles or 600 miles or whatever, but you know, taking that on face value, anyone could make a YouTube channel and put that out, but to cite it as being proof is a bit lackadaisical, in my opinion, of Issa's research on the matter.
All right, so it came from a guy called Dr. Peterson on the maths forum.
So it was a response. So it was a response on a forum.
No, it came from No, it was sent into the forum, and Dr. Peterson, whoever he is,
yeah, exactly,
responded to it on the forum.
A forumite responded to the question. It was some guy on a forum who made a response to somebody.
Yeah, but he signed it off as Dr. Peterson on the maths forum, so I'm assuming that he had some element of.
I could make a name up and I could join a forum and call myself Dr. Peterson if I wanted to. You can choose any username you want, you know, to sound credible. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference. It's not scientific.
Well, he appears on.
I know, but Anthony, I know what you're going to do now. You're going to be looking and trying to check who this Dr. Peterson is. Well, can't you just understand that trying to cite somebody off a forum and trying to cite somebody's YouTube channel from a video with no proof of reference or evidence isn't credible evidence?
That wasn't my point. My point was that he produced evidence to support his position.
And but it's not credible evidence.
Well, it doesn't matter how strong it is. My point was that he did have evidence to support his position, and you couldn't acknowledge that.
Because I'm not going into the debate again. I'm just going to say that at the end of the day, I didn't feel that the evidence that he provided was worthy of consideration. That's it. And you know, and also the fact that he referenced a 300-mile straight line, which again, I think, and I'll even say this, that Sean Hufford did a hangout last night, and he went through the how the workout, the surveying side of things, and it's from the centre, etc. And it would only be 9.5 miles one way, 9.5 miles the other. In that circumference, that circle, that you would be able to fit the 300 square miles. And I totally agree. I don't see it as being a reference to one straight line. I see it as a reference to a circle with 300 square miles inside that area. And that's,
right, but do you agree that that is the moot point of the discussion?
No, because this is what I said from day one, that when we first started talking about it, which was that we are talking in reference to a surveying video. The video was about how this, how they can reference a flat area of water, and I saw it immediately as being either a square or a circle grid formation, but having your 300 square miles inside that very small, narrow band. And the references that he used, which even referred to being in small, confined areas, was in agreement with that. So to say that it was a 300-mile stretch in one direction was, in my opinion, ludicrous. And I feel that Sean Hufford did a good job with saying what he did and explaining what I was trying to explain to you yesterday about the 300 square miles being in a circular pattern grid formation.
Forget that, Ranty. You got 40 quid in your GoFundMe now.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Did you bung another fiver in there, Mark?
There's one called Anonymous. You never know.
You'll get there faster than you think, Ranty was.
I'm gonna claim that Sean Hufford's whole hangout would have been based on something incorrect anyway, because he's got no abilities whatsoever to correctly represent someone's words. So he probably fluffed what the argument was about anyway. So on that basis, I don't think there's any point to. Thank you. Go and watch it.
Right. What else should we talk about? I want to get off this subject. I think we talked enough about this yesterday.
We can talk about George Hnatiuk again. Hnatiuk again.
Yeah, I mean, I've not really followed that part because I was too busy setting up that GoFundMe when you started talking about it. So, if you want to go through that again, I'd like to hear
What do you reckon, Nathan? Is it worth saying again?
Definitely. I mean, the guy's a pathological liar and has literally made up contact with Brian Mullen that he has not had. He's also made up that Brian Mullen's gone back to the ball, which has not happened. And my assumption is that he thought no one would realise that no one was in touch with Brian. He was completely off the radar, not knowing that Brian had co-produced Scientism Exposed with Robbie Davidson, and Robbie's in close contact with that family. And while he may not be, for various reasons, in direct contact at the moment with Brian, i.e. can't pick up the phone to him today, but he's just spoken to his wife and gone, what's the score with this comment that Anthony's about to bring up right now? And he said, well, you know, according to this guy, he's been in touch with you, this George Hnatiuk, and according to George Hnatiuk, or Netanyahu, you've said that you're back on the ball. And she's essentially laughed. And, you know, I was on for a brief period this morning. Anthony was on with Robbie for about an hour or so, and I was on for considerably less than that, but enough to get the general gist, which is that this has annoyed quite a few people, because people are in touch, and you know, people talk and read comments, and when you read a comment that's saying that George has been in touch with Brian Mullen, it's an outright lie. It's just lying. Pathological liar.
Well, am I on, Nathan?
Sorry, you were on ages ago.
So Nathan had a hangout with George the other day, and in it, George was grilled for what was the reasons for why he contacted the board of what they call licensed surveyors or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's the regulatory body that controls surveyors. And he admits that he rang them and he had a conversation with them. He denies that it was of malice intent, which I call bullshit on. But he also denies that he put in any formal complaint, yet admits that they told him that they would not be interested in any part of Brian's private life with regards to Flat Earth, which I find a contradiction in terms in any event, because like to find that information out, you have to at least ask the question, don't you, right? But anyway, point is, after the event, he's put on his channel, so you can find George Hnatiuk, and it's on the video that's most recently put up 1,000 views ago, 4 days ago. And in the video, you can click pause. You need to go down to the comments, and you need to order the comments in order of newest first. That's how I found it. And then you scroll down towards the bottom because it's like a few days old. Come on. And we're looking for the comment below part-time vegan, below Ninja Man, below Rock Lover. Come on, where is it? Find Flat Earth Astronomy's link from 3 days ago. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Now, I don't know what I've not read the whole thread for this bit, but buried deep in this thread, you can find towards the bottom, so that nobody ever gets to see this wouldn't get to see the light of day ordinarily. We'll find George's pretty much final comment on the thread. I'm just looking for it. See this is really well buried, right? Even though I know it's here, I'm struggling to find it, right? So in which he claims, been in contact with Brian Mullen this morning. The amusing thing is the Flat Earth community does not realise Brian Mullen no longer champions Flat Earth. He's a glober now and scared these sons of bitches will come after him if he tells them. Got that firsthand. Well, I'm calling bullshit because he hasn't been in touch with Brian Mullen this morning. His wife confirmed it to me and Robbie Davidson, who told me that that was not true. He had not been in touch with Brian Mullen that morning. Nobody in Flat Earth is in touch with Brian Mullen at Brian's request because people are being respectful and he's not in contact directly with anybody. Anybody. The only way that Brian Mullen is contactable at the moment is indirectly. Through his wife, and the only one person that I'm aware of that can get in touch with his wife is Robbie Davidson. Robbie and I spoke this morning for a good hour or so, just over an hour, and when this came to light, I added Nathan to the call and we had the conversation, which was he did not get in touch with Brian Mullen. Now, the second part states that the amusing thing is the Flat Earth community does not realise Brian Mullen no longer champions Flat Earth. Well, he's not in Flat Earth anymore, so he's no longer championing it. I suppose indirectly that's true, but it doesn't mean he's jumped ships at all. But he's trying to imply that he's no longer in Flat Earth and now expressly states that he's a glober, that's a lie. He is not a glober at all. He's still very much Flat Earth. He's just taking sabbatical from it. And this idea that in some way that he would be scared that anybody would come after him and tell him or get to him in some way is nonsense. Brian's not a wimp. Brian will stand. And even if Brian was strong, nobody in Flat Earth would denounce anybody that changed their mind. Chris Monk appears to have changed his mind, but he's not getting death threats. He's not worried about people coming after him with a lynch mob. People, we realize that people can have the choice and decide whether they believe that we live on a sphere or not. Now, if he's changed his mind and gone back to the ball, nobody would follow him. So this is complete and utter slanderous nonsense, lies. And he's claiming he's got this firsthand. Well, on Robbie's authority, Robbie has told me that. All right. Hang on a minute. Hang on. On Robbie's authority, he's told me that I can cite him as the authority that states George did not get in touch with Brian Mullen. There was no conversation. Brian is in indirect contact with only one person, and that's Robbie Davidson. And if Brian was to be in touch with anybody, it most certainly would not be this guy. It's complete and utter lies. Now, the question becomes, if it was one of us that was making this claim, it would be basically demonized. You would be vilified and demonized, and rightly so, because it's not true. Now, if it was me, I'd be demonized, vilified more than what I already am. But what's going to happen to George? Is it going to get swept under the mat and just ignored because, probably caught lying, but, not a big deal? Or are you guys going to stand up and say, actually, George, you're lying here. You should apologize because he's telling lies. And we all know what won't happen. The ballers will not say anything. And they'll all basically go, oh, yeah, he's been caught out here, but, shove it under the mat, let it go away. No, it's not the way it should be. So George is going to get constantly ridiculed for this for the rest of his days on YouTube because he's literally telling lies. Now, one last thing before I round this point out. Jesse Kozlowski asks the question, will you be able to say more? And in his comment underneath, he gives a long answer to do with calculating nonsense to do with the solar system, but doesn't answer the question. And the answer, of course, to the question is that no, he will not be able to say more because he's not going to dig anybody a hole. But Jesse Kozlowski believes George. He believes that Brian's gone back to the ball. And Jesse Kozlowski will now probably go around telling people that, well, Brian Mullen's been contacted by George and everything's fine. Of course, that's not true. So the guy needs to be outed. And this is nonsense. George, you're telling lies. You did not ring Brian Mullen. He did not go back to the ball. And he is not afraid that anybody would come after him if he did decide to flip. You did not get it firsthand. You're a liar, George. You're telling lies.
Who's making that noise? Mute a few people.
Pardon?
Just somebody in the background making a lot of noise.
It's always Mark Doxey. That bloody Mark Doxey.
Muted everybody, so if you want to talk, just be aware of muted everybody.
So George is telling pork pies, and I hope George gets to see this, and I hope George responds to it and admits that he has lied. He did not ring Brian Mullen. He did not speak to Brian Mullen. And if Brian Mullen was to speak to somebody within the community, it most definitely would not be him. Ridiculous. But everybody will ignore it on his side, and they'll pretend that it's not important, and it's just a story. No, it's lies, and you guys are believing it because it's come from people like George that sound credible to you guys, but to us sound like utter morons.
Have you still got the comment up?
Yeah.
Just click on it, right-click on the face of the person that's made that exact comment, and just double-check, go to channel, and just make sure it's not a sock that's done it. I mean, it's got the grey outline around it, which indicates that it's the
only option I have is report.
So it's definitely him. There's no two ways about it. It's him making these comments.
It is, yeah. So if I click on the link, it takes me to his channel. So it is him speaking, yeah. It is his comment. But I wonder, Sean Hufford, would you support this guy still? Because I know you lurk in the chat. Are you going to support this guy? Or are you going to distance yourself from him, but not denounce him because you don't want to get involved in it? Well, what's his name? Jesse Kozlowski's he's read the comment and he's been influenced by it. Do you not think that you've got it amongst yourselves, a duty amongst yourselves to correct and tell Jesse Kozlowski that he's been lied to and he's believed it? Or are you just going to pretend that the comment doesn't exist, not call him out on it, not denounce him, not ignore him for the rest of eternity, not treat him like terribleness the way you do to me? Come on, double standards.
This guy is a lying scumbag out to ruin people's jobs because they don't agree with his religion.
And people like Sean Hufford will ignore it, and he'll pretend that it didn't happen, and he'll just distance himself from it rather than denouncing it the way that he would do if it was me. You're all dishonest, you ballers, all of you. You have no integrity. You're all double-faced, two-faced, all of you.
It's true. I heard he got banned from Jem's Discord for calling a black person a derogatory name.
Well, how's that any different to you coming on going, nigger, nigger, nigger?
Well, I'm just saying George is a bad person.
George is a bad person, I agree. Does that make you a bad person too, though, P?
Maybe.
Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
Yeah, and I want ballers, like predominant ballers. I want to know what people like Sean Hufford, any of the people that, I don't know, Jesse Kozlowski, anybody that's on their side that makes videos in any way that activates and gets involved in the argument. How is it that, I'd like to know what the official responsible to this will be, because he did not get in touch with Brian Mullen. He did not fight, Brian Mullen did not tell George that he'd jumped ship. Brian is still flat earth. He's just getting his ship in order in terms of other things in his life that are not to do with flat earth. And, you know, it is what it is. He's got a couple of kids now. Life's moving on for him. Can't blame the man.
He might be senile.
I think George quite possibly could be delusional, because you would have the delusions that thinks that these things were real when they were not. And that would be in your mind innocent because you do believe that they were true. So it's either delusional or it's just outright lying.
He took it a personal, very personal attack. He attacked personally, not on one-on-one on YouTube or online. He took it to real people that could get real consequences. That was his mistake.
So how's your friendship these days with Mr. Hufford? P-Mars?
Oh, I'm banned in his chat. I don't think he likes me very much.
So you've never sorted your differences out and apologized or whatever?
No. He's pretty weird, man. I don't know.
To be honest, I wanted to go on his hangout last night with this debate over whether ISA was right or wrong or not. Because to be honest, I didn't know that there was a difference between miles squared and square miles, because I thought they were the same. I didn't know that there was an issue. And Sean had added an interpretation to it that I didn't know about, and I wanted to see it because I wanted to know what the answer actually was. So I asked him if he'd ping me over the link on Hangouts or just add me direct to the Hangout through Hangouts, because you can't have, you can't do messaging anymore. And he wouldn't do it because he said, quote, "You're never going to be on a hangout with me that you can snipe." And I'm like, I've been able to snipe every hangout I've ever had with you, idiot. What are you talking about? But now he knows that I can snipe, which is not that big of a deal, to be honest. I mean, we do it every day in the show. He now uses that against me to not have the hangout with me on a channel where he can get sniped. So basically, Sean, there's nothing that you or I can have to move forward in the flat Earth discussion anymore. You're going to have to go on the block list, Sean. I don't have anything, no more value in your work at all. You're a liar. You think that you claim that you had legal action against me, and you had a judge tell you that he didn't want to set a precedent for a, what was it called? An extradition hearing on the grounds of insanity, because you claim that I defamed you in some way on a video on YouTube. And when I put you to the test on this, you wouldn't produce evidence because you said it would dox you. And let's be honest, you're lying, Sean. You won't back down on it. You won't admit that you lied. And basically, you've got nothing on me at all. And now you won't have the hangout because in case I, quote, snipe you. Well, let's remember where the sniping thing came from. It came from the ballers. So that puts that into context, didn't it?
Red's rhetoric hung out with Sean in real life. Like, he gave him a ride in his car and then helped him get his, like, he got donated his father's car or something. And he drove back. And I guess he ruined Red's rhetoric's car. Red's was like following him and they went on a gravel road. And he messed up Red's Rhetoric's car. I don't know. That thing, the whole thing seems creepy to me because, you know, Sean is a lady boy and all that.
What do you mean he ruined his car?
So I guess Reds has like a nice new car, and he was following Sean Hufford back home in Sean's car he got from his father. And there's like, they went on a gravel road or something, and the gravel Sean's car kicked up, messed up Red's car.
Gutted. So wouldn't that be because Reds was following too close behind in the car?
I don't know. That's just what Sean was saying. I heard him on a hangout saying that.
So I'm guessing that this is before he wrote off his car, or is this after his car with the replacement car?
I don't know the details, man. I just heard that Sean relay that story. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, Sean had Reds had some incident with some pigs or something. He ran into 3 pigs that were crossing the road or something. Is that right?
I don't know, it just sounds like a bunch of rumors.
Terry Davis says, Sleeping Warrior, you may be accepting a live debate on someone's channel that is protected from sniping. I may be accepting a live debate on someone's channel that is protected from sniping.
Who muted me?
Nathan.
Right, okay. I was trying to speak and I'm thinking, how come you're just speaking, Anthony? It's like, I want to clarify that we snipe every day comment that you made, which was, we don't snipe to hurt anybody. We actually snipe to defend the channel from the known troll accounts that come in and do try to porn bomb and try to cause havoc in the chat. That's what we do. We have an option where we can remove those people before they become a disturbance or before they block us. Now, there's a big difference between going into other people's hangouts and being a sniper and just being a guard to keep the show running and to keep ourselves protected from trolls that try to attack us in this format. So that's the difference. You know, when we say we snipe every day, that is, it's a self-defense sniping as opposed to an offensive sniping, which we get trolled a lot in this chat. It happens on other channels, but we do not go to other channels and snipe. We just defend this channel from the snipers and attackers that try to make this show not run as smoothly as it should.
Well, if it's worth your interest, I posted a picture of the moon in the Skype chat, or not the Skype chat, the Hangout chat. If you want to just discuss the physics of the termination line, the sun was down when I took it, and now the sun is up at about 30 to 40 degrees, but the termination line is still the same. So it's just interesting to think about looking at this at the moon. If the moon in the picture, I don't, because I'm on my phone, so I can't post it. But if you guys
can
want
somebody
to show
hold
it.
on, Travis? Can someone just bring up the picture in the side chat so I can put it on screen?
I posted it in the Skype chat earlier too, right after I took it. So if you want to access it there.
Which one? The moon one or the?
Yeah, the moon.
Sunset one.
The moon.
This one?
Ranty?
Yeah, that's it. So if you can see, the termination line is clearly at the, you know, if you're going to go from the 230 to the 830 position, if the sun is the source of the moon's light, the sun would have to be
10:30.
Yeah, higher, and it was just coming up over the horizon, so to speak. So it was clearly lower. So the physics doesn't work.
I'm looking forward to seeing Ruhif's nonsense on the Coriolis force. Stop it. Coriolis is a force, apparently.
Were you talking to the voices again, Anthony?
No, the dog, he's mithering me. He wants me to pet him and I can't be bothered. Get on there, come on.
What camera do you have to take an image like that?
That's the P900. And I was only zoomed in. You know, Ranty, when you get in and it turns from blue to yellow when you start zooming in closer.
Yep.
It was just right at that point of turning from blue to yellow, so I wasn't even zoomed in all the way. I wanted to get it in the full frame. If I would have gone in farther, it would have been, you know.
Were you on moon mode on your camera?
What setting was I on? I was actually just on the regular camera setting, the green camera. If you look at the dial, it's just got the green.
See, would you agree with me that on the bottom side of the moon, say 6 o'clock, say 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., that segment of the moon there, that bottom segment is in high resolution. Actually, it kind of goes across the moon up towards 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
All that's in high resolution and sharp. But
Yeah.
for some reason, the rest of the moon appears to be flat. Doesn't appear to have any like definition on it whatsoever, even though it's getting light.
Huh.
It's as if it's out of focus, but half the moon's in focus. Do you see that?
Yeah, I follow what you're saying, yeah. Yeah. Probably around 10 o'clock, 10:30. So, we were actually going to offer it to those guys. Are you there in the pro-life thing? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, okay. Yeah, we haven't said anything to them, so maybe we'll just let you go. Okay. All right.
Cool. Nice image. It's got a sunset one as well. Might be able to bring that up in a second. That's a pretty nice image.
Yeah, it was funny because I got that crisp of an image, but as it continued to set, I couldn't get the clarity. You can see that bottom dip.
I don't understand how half the moon seems to be in focus and the other half appears not to be on something that's supposed to be tangible. I don't see how that can be the case. What do you think of Crow 777's lunar wave?
Are you looking at the sunset image, Anthony?
I am.
Are you asking me what I think of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. You know, who did I send? Mark, was it Mark that was looking at my I think
you sent it to me, yeah.
Yeah, 2 months ago I had the full moon in Massachusetts. I was shooting the moon, and I didn't have my tripod out. I was out the window, but I was stationary with my truck, and you could just see the edges of the moon were shimmering. And then, as far as I could tell, you know, I was trying to hold still, and there was what I would call a glitch, and it happened 2 times. I wouldn't call it a wave, but it was an interesting glitch. But it's on my channel. It's the shimmering moon. You can check it out.
So George Hnatiuk.
Oh, sorry, Anthony. Can we play that now, just before we change the subject, Ranty? Any chance you can bring that up as well? Sorry.
What is video? The shimmering moon.
Sorry to be a pain. The plain truth, if you want to find the YouTube channel, because unless I assume you're already subscribed to Travis.
I'm not too sure actually.
I'm just giving you grief.
Sorry.
Yeah, subscribe to Travis. So Travis is the plain truth. But tree.
There
we go.
Yeah, I see the subscribe button. It wasn't pushed there, Ranty.
I noticed that as well.
Hang on, let me just subscribe then. Oh, there we go.
You were caught out.
The shimmering moon, did you say?
Yeah.
The waning moon.
I just subscribed now.
Oh, here we go.
It'd be good to get Travis up to 100 subscribers. There's at least, how many people are in the chat? Let's have a quick look. Tell me in a second. It'll tell me, but you know, there's probably a good 150, 200 people in the show at the moment. I'll go and get a link to Travis's video that we're about to play once Ranty gets it up. He's got a black screen at the minute, but once he's got it up, I'll put a link to the exact video.
It should be up now.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So you'll see I put up a a little note that says, watch for the glitch in the matrix, and then you'll see it. I mean, I might have bumped my arm, but I really don't think I did. So I'm just panning around the edge of the moon.
That's on full zoom, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to see if I could get a wave, you know, so I'm going through the center, just kind of.
Is it called the shimmering moon?
Yeah, yeah, just because of the edge. You can see the edges are wavy. At least I could when I was seeing it. Right now I can't tell when I'm watching it.
Was it low on the horizon, or was it getting up towards...
No, I would say it was probably 50 degrees.
So there shouldn't be that much refraction involved because you're not looking at the
Did you
horizon.
see it? Did you see it? Go
I
back.
didn't.
Yeah, go back and watch.
I've just posted your link,
now.
so let's play it again. But I've just posted the link, so the one that's scrolling by on screen now is the Plain Truth channel. Just click on that and go and subscribe. Hopefully we can get him up to 100 subscribers.
So watch for the glitch. Here it comes. Watch. I'm moving, but then watch the glitch. Boom.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't. It wasn't just me moving necessarily. I was moving, but at the same time I was moving, there was some kind of hiccup right after the text went up. Anyway.
Like it wobbled.
Yeah, but you could tell that I was moving, but then there was an additional wobble that I don't think was a camera issue. But I had just been driving for 12 some hours, and I was just like, I'm done. So I didn't get my my tripod out or anything. I was just hanging out the window.
Yeah, I'll put the link in again in the info box and in the chat feed. So hopefully we can get you to 100 subscribers.
Thanks for the subscriber, Unsalted667. Thanks.
Next, just before you round out, I want 3 minutes before you do round out.
Okay.
Was that the ISS? Oh, what was that? What was that there?
Did you see something?
Yeah, I did. It's something that flew straight across there.
Really?
Is that
Yeah.
right?
It should just come where my cursor is now. There it is.
Bird.
It's a bat.
Hey, it's a bat. Delete it.
CGI.
It did seem like something that was flapping, so it was probably a bat. See? See?
We'll let it be a bat then.
Right, Ranty, I'm going to put your...
Thanks, guys.
No worries. Thank you very much, Travis. That was cool. I'm going to put your screen on. So tell us about this My P1000 campaign thing. What's all this about, Ranty?
Oh, right, okay. Well, what you mean you're putting my screen up? Hey, what? Am I still sharing?
Just tell us about your camera.
Right, my camera. So P900, I'm going to take it apart because I need to get the filter blocker out, which is the infrared filter blocker that it has inside the camera. So once I do that and get it out, I've bought some filters for it so I can put infrared on it and start filming in infrared. Seems that there's some fantastic results that people are getting with infrared at the minute. However, once I do that, I really won't be able to sell the camera. It won't be worth much. But if I get a P1000 as well, I'll be able to film infrared on the P900, and with P1000, I'll be able to get up to 125 zoom. And we've got lots of places that I can film around the northwest here. And that's the plan.
So on screen now for the audience, I've just put the link in the chat. So we've got a GoFundMe for a P1000 for Ranty because he's poor and he needs the money.
Yes, essentially, I can't afford a P1000 until about Christmas. So if it comes out in less than a month or so, I can get it sooner, and people want to help contribute.
So you've
Thank you
had
very
it up
much.
since this last show was on, and you've got £75 towards your goal already. 6 people in 2 hours. Got the Dumpus, Anonymous, Adam Meakin, myself, another Anonymous, and Ian Matheson. Much thanks to you all. I'll stick the link one more time in the chat thread, and there's another link in the info box below this video. Right, guys, anything else you guys want to add before we round out?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody that has actually donated so far. I do appreciate it very much. You'll get value for money with lots of evidence with it.
Fair enough. Anthony?
Share my screen.
I can.
George Hnatiuk. Earlier on today, Nathan, Robbie, myself had a conversation, and I added George to it because I wanted basically George to come on and explain his nonsense. And there was a back and forth. And by the way, just to show you that you can see that George was added at the top of the call. And then I've just literally, like in the last 5-6 minutes, I've just had this message. He says, what are you getting at? Sorry, well, I have a lot on my plate this week. That's convenient. There was enough for you to do a response video, but you're not able to respond to us. But anyway, so I sent him the link to get him in right now. And then he said, behind him work, still trying to get the video done about Coriolis and Quantum Eraser. So he's not that busy, right? No time for hangouts. I told you on Sunday that this week was going to be hard for me. I said, it'll take you 2 minutes to admit that you did not speak with BM at all. Join us, George. There is only 10 minutes left. Well, actually, there was like 6 at this point. No, it will just turn into a shit show and try to suck me into other things. I have a client meeting in 5 minutes and need to get ready. Sorry, have to run. I said, probably another lie. Wimp. He said, it's nearly 10 a.m. here and it's Tuesday. I have a business to run, for Christ's sake. Laters. So basically, George is well aware that there's a challenge on the table. And yeah, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that he did have a business to run and he did have a meeting to go to because it is office hours in wherever he is. Fair enough. But George, this isn't going to go away. I'm calling you a liar. You did not get in touch with Brian Mullin. You did not have a conversation with him. He did not run to the ball. And whatever the other part was, he is not scared of anybody with ramifications on the flat earth side. You are literally lying, George. And I look forward to seeing you soon at a time that suits you better because we can get this addressed. Have a good day, George. Goodbye.
And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, you know exactly what to do. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you have not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. That's right. Bye-bye.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!